This is the all-new Mercedes-Benz S580, the latest and greatest S-Class from the Mercedes-Benz lineup. And I've had this four-door luxury sedan for the past week as a press car, during which I've been daily driving it and experiencing all that it has to offer. As always, we'll take a look at the exterior, the interior, then we'll go out and take it for a drive. The exterior color of this vehicle is Cirrus Silver, an absolutely gorgeous color that I think really shows off the body lines well. Just the other night I had it beside a white S580, and some of the body lines were lost in that color in my personal opinion, so I think silver is just an excellent color to highlight the beautiful body lines of this large sedan. Total MSRP as tested, $128,550. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the exterior. This particular spec is optioned with the AMG Line Package, which is going to give you more aggressive styling through the front fascia through here. I prefer this out of the different options. I think it just looks the best and really complements this vehicle overall, but you do have some options for different preferences. I like how it's blacked out through here as well as through the front grille. Now this bit is chrome, and I think that looks good. To be honest, when I first saw this car, not in person, just video and picture of it online, I was not a fan of the front grille. Seeing it in person, spending time with it, I've really come to love the overall look and how this ties in. And I think, to me, these bits of chrome is what makes it great. If this was all blacked out, it may accentuate this too much and make it look too much like a snout or something like that. So I think the chrome sets it off, makes the front grille look great. In person, you really got to see it to come to love and appreciate it. We've got our sensors up here, a camera through here, and sensors down through here. And of course, we've got our multi-beam LED headlamps, which are just gorgeous, and they do all sorts of cool stuff whenever the bright lights come on, and whenever you open and unlock the vehicle, they got a little sequence that they do. So these really anchor in the vehicle, set it off crisp and clean, and just gives the front end of this vehicle a really great look. Let's go and take a look at the profile. Here at the profile, you get a feel for just how long and big this S-Class is. From bumper to bumper, it's 208.2 inches long. My father and I were a little bit concerned as to whether we could actually fit it in the garage. We have this double car garage here. He drives an E350 right now. That fits perfectly, of course, and we were worried whether this would fit or not. And it actually fit perfectly. So if you're concerned about whether it would fit in your garage, 208 inches is the length, and it fits fine in a double car garage in our case. I love the look of this vehicle. We've got 21-inch wheels up front, 21-inch in the rear. These are the V Multispoke AMG design with the black inlays. I think these particular wheels on this particular spec really sets it off nicely, and it just looks incredible. And I love the ride height of it. Normally I complain about cars, having too much wheel gap in the front or in the rear. Just the way this car sits from the factory stock looks incredible. Now you can go in the vehicle settings and you can actually raise it higher if you like for different access points, but as it sits now, I think it looks incredible. Just gives it a really overall good and aggressive stance while still remaining, luxurious and opulent. We got the AMG Line Package, which gives us this side skirt through here. Now the door handles are sitting flush. When I unlock the vehicle or get close to it, when I have the key fob, they'll pop out, and they just have an overall just amazing feel. This is a very solid feeling car. Doesn't feel flimsy, doesn't feel cheap in any regard. Even down to the door handles, just the feel of it is just solid, and you feel like wealth and money when you're driving and handling this car. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear. Here at the rear, you've got a continuation of these gorgeous LED tail lamps that'll also do a little sequence for you as well, similar to the front headlamps. And I like how it continues from the side of the body all the way around to the rear and then on to the actual trunk lid. I think that's just a nice, clean, seamless continuation through there. We've got the S580 indication here, of course, the Mercedes emblem in the center. And then over here, you've got the 4MATIC indication. All S-Classes are now four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. And as we come down through here, you'll see you've got a much more aggressive rear styling here on the bumper. On the luxury line, it's just a simple chrome strip, but here you get a lot more kind of character and style, in my opinion. I like the little bits through here on this kind of rear diffuser. Dual exhaust integrated into that. We'll go ahead and open up the rear trunk. I can double click this, and that will open up for me automatically. very softly. It doesn't just, you know, jump open. It's very soft open. Of course, you've got the automatic close through here. Great amount of trunk space, a little bit of storage up underneath here, and then an option here to where you can hang your grocery bags, and a little bit of storage over there on the right side. So tons of trunk space, and you can of course access through there to the back seats. We'll go ahead and close this. And up here, I like these little lights too. Just another little feature that really sets it off. These little illuminated lights that kind of give it a little pop and obviously give you a little bit of functionality. So we'll go ahead and close that. And now we'll go ahead and take a look on the inside. As we walk up to the car, I'll press unlock and you'll see the door handles will pop out. There's a nice bit of Mercedes-Benz badging right there, and that's on each of the 4 door handles. And this is really a multi-sense car. You've just got to experience it in person to really get to know how it feels. Videos just really doesn't do it justice, but just opening that door just feels just so good. I love the door handles. And look at this. Look what you're greeted with. The illuminated door sill, the AMG floor mats, the AMG pedals, this absolutely gorgeous quilted Black Nappa leather seats. Just look at this. I mean, this is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this, the look of this vehicle. Let's go ahead and pop inside and take a closer look. When you shut the door, you'll get a nice little chime here and a little bit of decals through there, and it just really makes you feel good. Every time I get in this car, I'm like, wow, like I just feel at ease and comfortable. So I'm just gonna go over everything. And let me show you this here. I'm 6'5" tall, as everyone knows, and I've got a couple inches of headroom. I could even put my seat down a little bit lower, a little bit further back, and it's just very, very spacious for the people in the front as well as the people in the rear. I'm not going to touch on every single thing, but I'll hit some of the highlights, starting off with the steering wheel. Basically everything over here is going to be your cruise control and automatic driving. So this will basically drive itself, autonomous driving. Now you do have to keep your hands on the wheel or else it'll give you a warning, but you can basically set that up through there. Your volume adjustments through here is not a button that you click up or down or a wheel that you turn. You simply go up or down with your thumb and that'll raise and lower the radio. As we come through here, you've got all your seat adjustments with diamond knurling texture on the top of that. So that's just gorgeous and just really gives it a great feel. We've got the slate high gloss poplar wood trim throughout the vehicle, and that's continued throughout the front and the rear of the vehicle. As we come through here, I'll go ahead and fire up the car, foot on the brake, and it will roar to life. I'll turn down the radio by doing that. And you'll notice here, we've got the massive touchscreen. That is a big change in this S-Class model versus some of the others, because now you have all touchscreen. The only hard buttons that you have are down here, and that is for the dynamic selection mode. So you can go between comfort, sport, sport plus, individual, and then eco. I wish you could go right and it would take you all the way back over. You have to go all the way back left though, and that'll put you into the final mode of eco. You got the parking sensors through here. You got your vehicle settings where you can just pretty much change anything and everything you want with this vehicle. Here's a cool feature with this augmented reality for the navigation. It's got the AR, so you can either have that on or off. When it's on, it'll actually show you arrows on the screen. It's almost like a video game. That way there's no question as to where you should turn. Obviously here we're gonna take a left. Gives us the destination through there, and then MBUX will talk to you throughout. You got so many different variabilities on this different navigation. You got the route overview, traffic, it'll show you where the delay is and how long it'll take, alternate routes. I mean, it's just really, really above and beyond your typical navigation. So we'll go through there. I like the augmented reality that way again, especially like if you're in the city, like driving through Manhattan or something, and you had a lot of big skyscrapers and buildings and you weren't sure where to turn, what to do. That would definitely be helpful. Out here in the open, it's a little bit easier to digest. But look at that, we're driving straight through the arrows and then they kind of disappear. And then it goes back to the regular navigation when you're not at a point of turning. You got an option here for snow chains. So if you want to put snow chains on your car, you can, and they'll basically restrict the steering angle of the vehicle. You can raise the level of the car. There's just so much you can do with this vehicle. You can put an alarm for the tow away there, and then we've got the hazards. Now this is biometric authentication, so you can put your thumb on there, and once you've set up the vehicle to yourself, it'll take you to a screen where you can set different customizations, different settings. Let's say you actually turn off the whole screen, and then you can turn up and down the volume of the radio through there. Let's go and take a look in here. Slide that back. 2 cup holders, 2 USB-Cs through there. And let me make this point. I love this car, but my father is actually considering getting it, so I'm kind of looking at it a little bit more critically than I would, because he really wants to buy this car. So I'm like, let me just, get this for the week, do my full review on it like I normally do, but I'm just putting a little bit more emphasis on some certain things, because if he's about to spend $130,000 on it, I want to make sure that, he's getting a good investment for his money. And same for you guys. If you guys are interested in buying this car, I kind of want to call out some of the things. This is the biggest point of contention for me. This was not good. This is the wireless charging. And as you see, it's so far up in here. I put it in here. Now it works fine. My phone is starting to charge now. Good. But it's just so out of the way. Now maybe that's a good thing that it's out of the way, because you're not being distracted by your phone while you're driving. But to me, this is just too far, too hard to get. I hit my hands on this every single time. I'd scratch my knuckles on here. Sometimes I'd reach for it and I accidentally would shut it like that. To me, it's just not the optimal place. This would have been the optimal place. Here is just too far up, and like I said, I can barely get my hand in. I have big hands at 6'5", but I struggled and obviously couldn't see my phone at all when it was there. So I just think that that was not the best option for the placement. Maybe there was no other place that they could put it. Maybe that's for a reason. But to me, that's the biggest thing that I hate about this car, is that. Other than that, we're pretty much good. This car is pretty much spot on and perfect. Up here, you've got your fragrance in there. You can set the different settings, whether it's high, medium, or low. Center cup holder through here, or center console rather. 2 USB-Cs and plenty of storage through there. You can fit pretty much whatever you need. Now I did notice that this got pretty warm when I had the air up or the heat up. This would get kind of warm in here, and I had a bottle of water and it got kind of warm, and my hand sanitizer and wallet and keys were all kind of getting warm in there. So that's just something worth noting. I love the digital screen through here. If I give it a little rev, I got that on the sport setting, so you can go here, home, and you can switch over left or right to customize. You can do exclusive if you kind of want to be classy through there, or you can switch over to here. And let's go to navigation. I'll put the whole navigation on there, which is pretty cool as well. Down here's your climate control. Let me show you this. If we go home, we go to comfort, and we go to ambient lighting, you get so many different things on the ambient lighting. You can do, look at this, red moon. We can do Malibu sunset. We can do Venice pink. The ambient lighting in this vehicle is absolutely gorgeous, and is not just limited to this level. You've got it up here, you've got it down through here, you've got it all the way around there. It's just absolutely amazing, and especially at night when you do these different settings and you can do the different effects, it really is great. We've got the massage seats. If we click through here, we've got hot relaxing shoulders, mobilizing, deep workout, and you name it, this car will do it, and it's just really comfortable. Up through here, let me show you this. You click on 3D. That's actually going to give you a 3D view of the navigation through there, and it tracks with your eyes. So as you move, it will adjust, which is just crazy. At first, it was cool. After a long time, I got a little bit kind of dizzy and almost disoriented, so I turned the 3D off. But for those that kind of want that more interactive feel, and as I'm doing it now, it's just moving. No matter where I put my head, it'll move. So that's just something worth noting as well. Let me show you this. To open up the sunroof, you just swipe back with your finger. So we'll just go like that. You swipe back on this little bit through here. That opens up. We do have the dual pane in this vehicle. And then that little bit will come up once it goes back. You can swipe up here again, back. And that part will open for you as well. And then to close it, you can just swipe forward and it'll close it just like that. Now you can remove these pillows on the headrest. Personally, I don't like the look of it. I do like maybe the comfort of it because it is pretty comfortable when you put your hair back on it, but if they come down here and sag it all, I just think it doesn't look the best, but that's just my personal opinion. You can also get these rear pillows on the back headrest as well. Speaking of, let's go ahead and hop in the back. Back here, you're gonna get that same continuation of the illuminated door sill. You're gonna get that same poplar wood trim, the ambient lighting. Basically everything that's up front is in the rear, which I really appreciate. They didn't skimp out on anything. Tons of leg room back here. Again, at my height, I am very, very comfortable, and this seat is practically where it was earlier. You've got the vent through here that you can open and close by pushing the button. All the rest of the vents are controlled by pushing this button here, and that'll change the level. So you got 1, 2, 3, and then nothing. 2 little vents through here. Now I didn't know what this was really for. Maybe that was if you wanted maybe to option something else, you could have different options, or maybe store something through here, but I could never really figure out what this was for exactly. And then down through here, you've got 2 USB-Cs and a 115 volt plug. However, I tried to plug something in to charge one of my camera batteries, and I couldn't actually get it to work because of the angle. I couldn't angle it in, so this would maybe be better if it was actually sideways, but then you'd kind of cover up this. So I don't know, maybe if you had something that was just a 2-prong that was really easy to plug in from the front, then you'd be good, but mine was kind of, had to plug it in from the side. So let's go ahead and pop this up. You can press this button here, and that'll turn into a headrest for someone if they wanted to sit in the middle. And we can pop down this through here. Our cup holders will open up, but they don't open up every time perfectly, so there you go. It pops down, and this will extend down. There your cup holders are, so you can slide that back in. But like I said, not every time will it come out perfectly, at least in my experience. Got a little bit of a tray through here. We'll pop this up, diamond knurling on that, stitching through there. They did not skimp out on any details in this vehicle. And you've got a nice little soft compartment here where you could store some valuables if you wanted. And this is how you can access directly to the rear of the vehicle. Let's go ahead and pop this up. Let me show you a few more things through here. You can adjust the windscreen back here, or the screen. So if you pull this up, that will open up the back screen. And if you do this here, this will open up that rear portion. And if you pull up here, that'll close this part as well as that part with the shade. So you get a lot of flexibility just in this little bit through here to kind of shield yourself from the sun, or shield yourself from the paparazzis, whatever it may be. So you got those options as well. Let's go ahead and take it for a drive. Behind the wheel and on the road in the all-new S580, what are we working with underneath the hood? That is a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 producing 496 horsepower, 516 pound-foot of torque with EQ boost. We're getting on the on-ramp here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop over the dynamic mode into Sport Plus. I'm gonna give it an acceleration here. Wow, this thing is quick for the size of this vehicle. You gotta remember, we're in a 4-door luxury sedan, and it gets up to triple-digit speeds very quickly. The crazy thing about this car is you can be cruising on the interstate and not even realize you're going well over the speed limit because it's just so smooth. You got the aromatic air suspension, which just makes for such a smooth ride. And this vehicle is just so smart. I was driving the other day, and the little My Mercedes MBUX came up, and it's like, pothole ahead. It gave me a heads up that there was a pothole in the road. Another time, I ended up hitting a pothole, unfortunately, but it was just so smooth and adapted the vehicle that it didn't even feel like I hit it at all. So it's just an all-around extremely comfortable ride from the driving perspective as well as the seating perspective. I feel like I just have so much room at my height with my long legs and long arms. I just feel very comfortable and at ease when I'm driving this vehicle. And I also feel really cool. Again, I like to talk about what it's like to drive this car. Now, I'm not getting a ton of attention like I was in the AMG GT or any of these other flashy cars. It's a little bit more understated, but I kind of like that. It's subtle. The people that know that it's, you know, the real deal car. This is essentially the highest and best you can get now, of course, until they come out with the Maybach or the AMG versions. But for now, this is the best of the best, the S580. This vehicle has so many different safety features. One of my favorite being the predictive occupant protection system. That's a mouthful, but it definitely came in handy. The other night, I was driving on the interstate. I looked over to get something out of my cup holder. I was getting my garage door opener from when I was getting off the exit. Cars ahead of me had stopped. The vehicle automatically braked for me. Some of the lighting features came up. The actual side bolsters tightened up, and it was like getting ready as if I was going to get in an accident. Thankfully, it stopped in time. So this is just such a safe car. Obviously, you need to pay attention when driving, but it's really got your back if those instances where you take your eyes off the road or you're not paying attention for a certain amount of time. But it's just such a smooth and overall enjoyable ride. I really love it. I hope that my dad ends up getting it. Like I mentioned, I was kind of doing this review with him in mind, and just everything about it's pretty much perfect. Only thing that is bad is, like I mentioned, that wireless charging, but aside from that, it's great. Visibility is wonderful as well. Huge front windshield. These A-pillars are really slim and trim, and they're just so long they don't really get in your visibility line at all. Out the left, the B-pillar is fine. No blind spot though. You can see directly out behind the B-pillar on that secondary window, and out the rear, you're good as well. That's a really nice and wide rear view mirror, so you get a nice view out the back, and it's not compromised at all. And I just have had a lot of fun driving it. I'm gonna be sad to give it up. I mean, it's just so comfortable. You turn on the heated massage seat, you just cruise, put the music on. The Burmester sound system is incredible. And it's just like you're in your own little world. That's kind of, I felt like I was kind of encapsulated driving this. I ended up taking it up on a road trip up to Bowling Green. That was a smooth ride, and it's just like I was just on a cloud the whole way there. I'm in Sport Plus. I'm gonna give you guys a little acceleration here. I am in M3. Put the pedal down. M4. Wow, and this thing really gets up and goes, and it's a smooth power. It's not like an aggressive power, and the exhaust isn't loud by any means. You're not getting any crazy, back gurgles or barbles or anything like that. But M3, the power just comes on quick, and it's just really smooth. Now, right now, I'm off the brake, I'm coasting. The EQ charge is coming on. That's gonna give you a little bit of boost through there, but once I put my foot on the gas, it switches from the EQ charge over into the power. 99% of the people that drive this probably aren't gonna be, ripping around in Sport Plus utilizing the power shifters, but it is nice to have that little bit of flexibility if you wanna, move around town fast. But most of the time, people probably will be just in either sport or comfort, just kind of cruising around comfortably, or the individual mode where you can kind of set it up and tailor it to your liking. This particular spec is equipped with the rear axle steering, 4.5 degree. And that's really noticeable in my opinion when you're doing any cornering or turning, or just like in a parking lot or something like that, or trying to make a quick U-turn somewhere. The turning radius is essentially shortened because the back wheels will actually turn out. That's really cool. I first experienced that on the Lamborghini Aventador S Roadster when I was up in New York, and it's fun to have it on this vehicle as well. And it's super handy on this vehicle in particular because, like I mentioned, it's 208 inches long, so it's a big car that you're maneuvering, so it definitely comes in handy. Now, maybe it's psychological. I'm not sure the exact speed that it's turned off at, but when I'm going around corners, on the interstate or the road, I feel like it's coming in handy. But I think it's probably only when you're really making those sharp, corners at low speeds. When you're turning around, it's going to shorten your wheelbase and essentially make it easier to turn with those rear wheels steering. Of course, the massive change here is going to be this center touch screen. If you don't want to actually use that, you can use the buttons here on the steering wheel. The ones on the right control the center screen, and the ones on the left control the instrument cluster. It took a little bit getting used to at first, but now I really enjoy it and really do like it. You can kind of simplify it here, turn off the display there, and turn this on understated if you don't want to have, so much going on. It can be a little bit overwhelming if you have this fully maximized, everything going on here in the center screen, and then all your ambient lighting. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but for those that like it, it's pretty cool too to have all that different, stimulation as well. But it is nice. It's very, very tactile. Things are easy to use. The only thing that's taking a little getting used to is the volume. Every now and then I end up swiping up too high and it gets crazy loud, or I swipe down too much. But I think the more time you spend in this car with that and with every other feature, you'll just get used to it, because some of the stuff does take a little getting used to, like the sunroof and some of the different controls and buttons. I hope you guys enjoyed this video review. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comments section below. And I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one.